employees of the county will pay toward their health insurance plan if they retain the same coverage that they had. That's correct. So that's probably changing as we sit here because today's open enrollment and people are selecting whatever coverage they want. So that's an income item. That's a plus. Everything else is
No, there's one more question.
okay. Okay, so the next line down, that's the HRA cost. That's an estimate based on the number of employees and the $1,200 per employee. All right. Next item down is contract auditing. We did have it budgeted at $50,000. As this would be a first-time audit, and I think we also need a single audit. What's the proper term of that? Okay. So we got some money for it.
We have $50,000 budgeted every year for that.
Full audit?
No, for single audit. So we've got to get a single audit on
It's been, yeah. So where's the money for the full audit?
So that's,
we've increased it to $75,000 for next year.
Okay.
indications are that should be enough. All right, this contingency expense, so let's come back to that last. We'll get to the rest of this. For equipment, and that's the fifth item down, where it was 150,000, and we raised it to 200. And Josie, if I asked you this, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Is that what is that increase for?
We've overspent $70,000 this year, so we have to do it.
Okay, and it has nothing to do with potentially getting a car for.
That meter line isn't designated for specific things, so if we get a new car, it can come out of that line.
Okay. But for now, it's just because we've seen expenses, we're running high, and so we look like we need to bump. Okay, so that's bumped from 150 to 200.
That we purchased the car this past year for out of
Yes.
All right.
college.
So we pay for this car in that line.
The next item down is for the IT software fees. 2026 was 300,000. That's jumped to 575, and that's because we're paying for the two at the same time. So that's net data, that last on that, as well as Tyler. That should drop next year. The net data should
Give them the drop in cash.
should
There's
be.
$200,000.
Yeah, that was 200.
About $200,000.
Tyler, do we ever figure out what Tyler's yearly expense is gonna be?
300.
That's it?
375.
About two.
Okay. So their yearly cost will be $375, is it?
Yes.
All right, this next item down is something that has been paid by the county, but it's been within the juvenile probation board budget, juvenile probation budget. So it's been moved out. So that's $6,000 of salary and $1,500 is for liability insurance coverage because the liability associated with serving on that board. So again, that's not new, but that is happy to talk about that if you want to. Next item down, county court, just dropping the travel, 16,000 to 8,500 to cover that cost out of the general fund. Same thing as you go through the county court of law, you see two items there. It's really not new. It's just been underneath the juvenile probation board budget. So I just made myself a kind of a placeholder here. So we're down in the district court salaries, and we're getting the court liaison position. That's all grant funding.
We're just gonna have to set the fund for that.
Okay, so it'll run.
In the general fund.
Okay.
So that the position's gonna be not coming out of general?
No.
2 years.
And the third year, 20% of it potentially can come out. 40%.
Okay. Like we put-
So it's a sliding scale.
Yeah, it's fully paid the first 2 years. The grant covers 80% of the salary in the third year and 60% of the salary in the fourth year. And the idea is after that time, or even during that time, you figure out, is this working? Is this something we want to keep doing or not?
And then that's salary.
The total between salary, benefits, Cliff, do you mind? I'm sorry, 165 split between 2 years. So what is that?
There's salary per year.
How much?
82.5 per year.
So that's the cost, I'm sorry.
That's with benefits?
Yes, that's the whole thing. Benefits, yes, and salary. Put it on your calendar so we'll know it's coming
No, I
back.
remember it for a year. I was like, I said, we grew into the record line. Grew into the record line.
You know, something to keep in mind.
Hey, that's it.
These are one of those grants that we want to watch so that we know that it's what's how it's changing. I'm looking back there at Mr. Carnes, Josie's nodding, we're all in the same accord on that. District Court is that $1,500, that's just the liability insurance. Again, it was paid down within the juvenile probation budget, it's moved up above. District clerk asked for an extra $500 for travel, for staff travel.
Took it out, or on which you took it out. Moved her, brought down 500, so she can increase her travel.
Okay, I missed that, so that's balanced right there, it's just so you'll know. All right, this next item, well, it's 4,000 instead of 3,500, but Josie was telling us that she actually reduced her supply budget to balance that out. So the net on the bottom line is that there's no effect. All right, so this next set of items I'll call is the JP salary adjustment as well as some of their coordinators. So the first thing that's proposed, and you can see it down there, and this is the JP salary moving up to what other elected officials, the great majority of elected officials are making, and then the 5% on top of that. So that would go to 79,951. The difference between per official. In this, it's 11,678, but it's not totally that because some of that's just the 5% increase that's built. That's something that we talked a lot about. I just wanted you to see financially what that looks like. If there's any question. All right. These next two items are the request by the JPs to increase the salary of two of their employees, the head coordinator salary, the assistant coordinator salary, the assistant coordinator salary. You can see that those two increases, one is about a 9.4% increase, and one is about a 9.5% increase. And the resulting salaries are listed there. But I mean, I've got a lot of comments about that.
Yeah, I'll get a comment again. I'm not in favor of doing that. We do job descriptions, job titles. So, I would agree. So, everybody else
So that's, you guys prefer keeping it 5% for now?
so that's what they figure out. The job classification, the job description.
Okay. So everybody knows it's in the crowd. We can't take action today. We will take an official vote, but I can get an idea at least of what people are thinking. How about you two? You agree you'd rather stay at 5%, both of you?
So none of these are action items, we're not making any action on it.
No, but you're giving guidance on how you would vote if this was presented to you at final. So, that makes sense? Okay. All right. The victims coordinator salary, This is with the district attorney's office. This is something we talked about. It used to be grant funded, it's no longer grant funded. What you see here, so we've already had this employee drawing pay for the past year out of the general fund. It just wasn't budgeted. So this is to budget that position with the 5% increase. It doesn't include any SB 22 money that might go into it to increase it. That I just wanted you all to see that right there. This is one of those positions, yeah, we were added on because that fell. Yeah. So, any comments about that?
We got no more floor on our payroll. It was grant, and I said, it's burns me with love every time. The same.
Anything else?
Well, we're growing, Joe.
Yeah. We went there and we agreed
That's what
to
we gotta do.
it. Whether we agreed to it or not, we're growing.
We are.
By the way, you have no child.
There's a quorum up here.
That's what usually happens with grant. Always.
All right. Take a look at this next line. Next line down is under professional services for the district attorney. As I understood it, this was going to be primarily for expert witnesses. It was $5,000 last year. They requested $20,000 this year. That's in there right now. It's a $15,000 increase, 300% increase. It's my understanding some of this may apply, be eligible for grant money. Is that right? None. Okay. Mr. Carnes indicating that can be paid for by grant money.
So what do we use so far for that this year?
Who you asking?
This year we need $7,500. Yeah, we're $20,000 more than we had thinking. So he asked for an additional 20,000, and we only gave him 15 of the 20.
How much did you spend this year?
So I offset all that with forfeiture funds, so it's kind of hard for me to give you a true number.
Be nice to have a true number. I'm serious.
Say most of it out.
I heard that. There you are, back there. I heard a voice, but I couldn't see you. Is there a reason not to continue to use forfeiture funds?
Forfeiture funds are not, I mean, that's something that should be part of the general budget. For instance, the district court has expert witness fees available for all the defense attorneys that are trying cases. And so, forfeitures are kind of one of those things that's, I wouldn't put a lot of stock into that in the future. Right now, we don't really have a lot of interdiction going on within the county, and that's usually where those funds come from, those interdiction activities. And so, we're just not seeing a lot of it, so I would put a lot of stock in forfeiture funds. It's not one of those things that I think that we should be creating, coming up with a funds. The fund that should be, so it's called, not this area, but you're trying to get for experts.
Okay.
There's always a problem, like I mentioned before, I guess. And not as I maybe the last one was 6,000 something on that field, so they're not cheap.
Is there any reason we shouldn't seek grants to help pay for that?
I have no objection to it.
Well, you see, the federal basis, you're qualified for now, so that's what I'm saying, they should have.
Okay.
Not all of those are capitals. I'm going to write it down the capital. next one.
Okay. All right.
This is the one I suggest we might, we'll take on a case by case basis, each city to certain. How often does that happen?
How did it?
How often do you end up having that expert witness?
Every murder case that goes to trial, there's an independent. So every time we try one of those, there's always, and there's additional expert witnesses that always come. Usually that's.
I'd rather give them 10 and do a case by case without, just say, yeah.
Okay.
So go to 25, you go to 15.
Well, I know, just,
Okay.
I don't know.
So you got 10 total or 15?
I was thinking 10 total, and do a case by case.
They need more good than
Okay. Well, you
Well,
got
I'd rather
three.
have- well, I'd rather have a case different.
Okay. All right, let's go down to, next item is elections administrator office, and there's a seemingly big jump, in the salaries. And that is because, Stephanie Upfull moved to that office, out of the judge's office, and so that is the reason for that increase. That's,
So did your office decrease salary?
that happened prior to my time, so.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, okay.
She's not, yes.
Is the judge's salary decreased or got transferred over to elections?
I think I have the same staff.
Maybe a little less, the salary, same staff.
Wasn't done properly.
Yeah. It was done improper.
Last year it was 271, this year it's 236.
No flag, Stephanie.
No. It's not just a work. Sure. Yeah, with that.
But she did take on. We agreed that she had extra duties for that.
And I need to, you guys also.
Also,
We did also talk about if she was somebody in the election that it was be efficient.
Okay.
yeah, but there was some additional. There was a few
She's like our ADA compliance. She's handling that.
and she was doing it.
She's on.
Wasn't
Mark is
doing
not, yeah, just been busy. So,
So she had additional duties with her. I think, yeah, one more, if I really wanted to do anything that would be justified.
okay.
Best we could do is put in tackle there, if it was,
Understood,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. understood. All right. So the auditor salaries, there's an increase in there above the 5 that's proposed, or I guess it's kind of mandated by the district judge. He controls that. Yeah, so that's just so you know it's there. All right, also, just so you know it's there, our tax collections for the appraisal district, that went up 12%. That's outside of our control. Haven't had a conversation for why it went up that much. But that's probably it. The next two items deal with the courthouse annex, specifically the one down here on Fisk, the former Windley building. Just some funds added by our auditor to try to anticipate some costs, and everything to do with related to the construction. It's just keeping it open over there. So 10,000 in utilities, 5,000 in maintenance. I don't think either one of those is out of line personally. If y'all have any comments about that.
It's not, the reconstruction for that needs open.
Okay. Next item, I guess, is operating supplies. It's really mileage for our constables who are driving more miles. And so
So
this,
it's their mileage, their maintenance on their vehicles, cell phone reimbursement, supplies, we to buy schools, cars, schools, whatever.
Well,
Okay,
That's
sorry.
why we put it all on one.
Everything's included in that, but you're right, the increase they asked was on the mileage.
Okay,
But that operating lines, all that is everything they.
that is a reimbursement account, right? So in other words, they spend the money or they do the miles, and that's just or whatever the mileage rate is. They spend the money, they're reimbursed for the money, so it's not like us. So I'm sorry.
So they're getting, they're actually turning in mileage and paying by the mile. Young can also pay the car maintenance. The car maintenance has to come out.
The mileage log, oil change,
The oil change is done.
any receipts they have for cell phone reimbursement, any stationery, anything they have to buy.
I do tend to agree with Commissioner Kelton. If we're paying the mileage
Yeah,
rate,
okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
We
getting-
don't pay
they're not getting
maintenance.
cars.
Maintenance is on them, not paying the mileage.
I understand. Yeah, that's fair. The next item, juvenile probation, the Brown County subsidy, it's up 16%. That's a state mandated number. It's based on an average of what the costs were for juvenile probation. And then that builds into this year. I guess it changes every year. or-
No, actually, we did budget it the same amount, but the new probation officer, Jerry came in, and told us we had that annual rate we needed to correct.
Okay,
So we got a correct figure.
okay. All right, that's what that is. Emergency coordinator grant supplement, that was just something that was in a different category, and so it was the grant writer was a separate department, and that's now moved in under emergency. So that's all, it's not really new money, just so you'll know where. We have two requests from other county services that they were asking for an increase. One of them was from the public library. They were asking for a $4,000 increase from $36,000 to $40,000. And the museum was asking for a $5,000 increase from $5,000 to $10,000. So those are currently in there.
I thought we put a moratorium on.
How long is mentioned today in the library, we changed that,
Library changed it. 3 years ago,
we gave them something on
went
that.
from 30,000 to 36,000. Also, Good Samaritan is in here, that went from 4,800 to 7,500.
Is that?
I couldn't hear what you said, this ran from,
East American went from 48 to 75.
Well, so I missed that one on that one sheet.
I'm not sure about all those, but good, honestly.
Chastain. How do y'all, or where do y'all fall on those types of things? Is the increases even the same? Even the same? You said,
I'm thinking, probably better.
all right,
I'm not for W, I'm sure.
okay, all right.
Might think that over a period of time, I don't know. Seems like a lot.
Okay,
There's an adjustment forward, there's a good adjustment.
okay,
I don't know.
I think next year after all, we'll have a better idea on our books. And we'll,
I think
I'm
that's
a little skeptical. Dude.
okay. Sounds like y'all really like her. All right. Ag, I don't mean to, all right, ag exemption, they were asking for a replacement van, and I don't think we have anything programmed in for that.
And equipment also, it's nothing, you've got the line, but it's not specified for anything, you could use that to buy that. van.
Okay, if you, for those types of items, if we decided we want to do that, can they also come out of contingency, or is that?
We can actually do that.
Do we have money left this year, contingency, you think, at the end of the year?
So let's,
No, we've already extended it.
Tyler's taking it.
so, speaking of that, so of all those items, is there any more discussion? I think I understand.
Yes.
You want to say
Yeah,
yes?
I still thought, but it says, think about it, assistant, grant writer slash grant writer, commercial budget manager slash grant writer for leads. He also was able to be our communicate, what's the top title for that? Public information officer. That does the social media and all that stuff, to keep it all together. It's like, expired and all, they keep everybody informed, so they good, they're not getting wrong information on social media, or they get everything. We got an official announcement on Facebook or whatever else, Brownwood News, we get an official announcement. You know, what, that he can, if he gets an extra person, he said he can work that also, which is.
This is another one of those babies you were talking about.
I don't think it is.
It is, but this one right here was not an accident.
No mistakes.
This was a plan. This was a plan.
I was told,
We're gonna use that terminology.
I was told if he has to be on site for 24 hours, there's no way.
Okay,
He has no
Hey,
backup.
he's gonna have to have something.
okay.
There's no cross train to also be the person. That's actually for you, a lot of this,
Yeah,
because like, he went back and, for like what he's doing this weekend, to do it like we're supposed to do it, like we're supposed to do, like Texas is pushing us to do for emergency management.
Okay.
And the other activities we might load into them also, we think that, I don't mind if you try extra, those things here, but then we go in there.
Okay,
That's just a problem.
all right.
But I feel fairly strongly about
All right. Mr. Trailer, what do you think about that? I'm glad with it. That'll take a little work, so we'll work that out.
I don't know what kind of salary we're talking, we hadn't really just,
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. All right.
Would it also be full-time or part-time?
Full.
Full-time, okay, just for insurance and everything, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I got one more thing. On
Yes,
the elected officials races, until we get an audit.
I'm sorry, I should have brought that up. But I didn't, so go.
Okay, well, so on the elected officials, I'm not for elected official raises until we have a full audit, until I know exactly where we are on these books.
Okay,
I'm opposed to elected official raises.
of any amount,
Any amount.
0%. All right. We'll start back over here. How do y'all feel about that? The end result? Okay. Mr. Reed, you good with it?
I mean, I can do that, but there's some others that I already talked to, they're not in favor of that, so. I don't know, let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at before.
Does it matter that you've already given them letters saying they're getting a raise?
If we change the salary, we have to redo that process. We gotta go back with the letters.
Because, yeah, they all got a letter.
Right, because it
Doesn't say
starts
date,
a,
But I'm just saying,
starts a salary grievance process, so
I see.
we have to deliver new letters. And then, and we have time to do that. We would probably, we would be able to adopt the budget on the 2nd, which we're hoping to do.
Well, we're meeting on the 21st.
Right, but it's got to notice it upright
Exactly.
and all that.
Does that affect the JPs?
It would affect, I presume, what
It
you would,
wouldn't affect the raise, but it wouldn't affect the bump, but it would affect the raise.
so you would propose they go ahead and be equalized up to everybody else, but no 5% rate.
Right.
Okay.
But by doing that, you're delaying it for 2 years.
Say again.
By doing that, you're delaying it for 2 years. So
No.
We're not gonna do an audit until we're completely on time for a year.
Who said that? Who?
Auditor and
My boss.
then.
Oh, it's my bad, excuse me, I said the wrong person, Mr. Moore.
We're marking it down, get the money to do it, looking like it's a yearly. I don't want to go, I'm not speaking for them, but we have to get them where they feel comfortable. Fiscal year 26 is what we're ending, correct?
Yes.
Not possible. Fiscal 27, we look at, in that we should be, that's fiscal 27, fiscal 26 is ending in 1 year, correct? It's not possible to do a full audit. So that's why it's in next year's budget, fiscal 27. That's why you saw that on the very beginning of that. So you talk years, fiscal years, not years.
No, I get that. Give me months.
48.
No, so we
See,
have.
we're gonna be working 2 softwares next year.
I thought we were gonna be live with Tyler in 2 months.
That's,
So,
they told me today, I was told that we were ending, we're cutting off, that data November the 11th.
For, for y'all,
For
but that's not
us.
financial.
For not everybody else, gotcha.
we have not even gone live, and then when they're talking about October probably, so,
Of next year?
This year.
of this coming year.
And payroll, financial, and HR financial will not be until starting next
They're
year.
just cutting mine off, and Cheryl's and other people that are maybe county attorney, I don't know.
So when's net data out?
We have to be on that, I think Sam said at least 6 months. But we've got to be on a 4-year timer completely. So that won't be until 27, 28.
So when y'all going live when with Tyler?
We're gonna tentatively, but it's called live, but it's not live. Because we're gonna be working both softwares and they're gonna be comparing both as we go. So that's when they're gonna try to catch the glitches and stuff.
But we're going live November 11th, and we won't be using both softwares.
So the only people who won't be using both software will be the auditor's office?
No, it'd be, the district clerk, the county clerk,
The JP,
JP's,
JP's, county attorney,
I believe so.
district attorney.
and the district attorney, the jail, jail,
So who's still gonna be using dual
just
system?
financial.
That's what I'm saying, everybody but
Everybody but for
the treasurer.
Yeah,
They don't even have us scheduled to start payroll or HR until after the end of December.
this December.
That's December.
That's disappointing.
Oh, and then we have to do, my office is still on top of, net data with land and bubbles.
Right.
And they're starting that the first of the year.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Back to the audit though, if we're budgeting for the audit and we're not gonna do it this year, why are we budgeting for
We were
it?
going,
That's my question.
we visually see what we can do. There's gonna be some back work. And I have to talk to the auditor. And then, I don't know all the net data and Tyler, all that timing, all that. I'm not aware of all the details of that. But we were trying to get that in the budget and start having those conversations. If we can get to it, and they can work if they can work in 2 systems, if the auditor can come in and do 2 systems and it's
Perfect.
and if they can't and we can't, then we have that full timing. But we don't have an auditor, we don't even have an auditor hired. So we have to have,
We don't have an auditor.
not the outside auditor hired. We have to have those conversations before that, to get them on, so that's why we put in the budget too. But we're still gonna need a single audit, and there may be whatever grants, so until I see all that, and then put that in the budget, so that we can start having this conversation to try to work toward that as soon as possible. But I don't know all this,
Okay.
that and that, so.
Can I ask Kirk a question? So were you talking about you don't want to do any of the official raises until you see the result of this emergency board? Right now, are you talking about the audit?
I'm talking about the audit.
I'm not sure I agree.
Okay, that's where I get.
It's not just us, it's a lot of others.
Okay.
That's my thought. That was your thought, that's my thought. We got 3 other thoughts here. At least.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, while y'all are thinking about that, let's move to that contingency line, and that's the 4th line down. The way it's presented right now, we have a contingency before some of these changes are made. And I don't know if this number's changed any already, but the 939,553. Is that still what it looks like right now? So contingency, reserve, way you want to think about it, that's the surplus in the budget. And I will say this, at first glance, when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's a lot. But then if you look at what's considered proper for county finance, it's really not. But then we have other items, and one of them is the payment of the rest of the tower contract, which I don't know that my number's right. I've got 845,533. I don't think that's probably right. Kind of a guess.
little bit more on that, but they haven't sent us the big bills in a while. They
Okay,
just sent us little bills.
so we don't really know. So,
It's close, but not too far off of that figure.
so you sent me a note, Mr. Auditor, saying you were thinking maybe better not to put that in,
There you go.
and so help us with that.
So, in my understanding, coming in, we are looking at, for some of the renovations.
Right.
That's not out of contingency, that's out of possible other financing options, tax notes or something.
You said the building, the
Yes.
Renovation, yeah.
renovation, yes.
So-
Possibly, and I thought it was possibly even some of the towers.
Okay. So we could make that Tyler part of the budget. You have to do a resolution saying that when we did a tax note, if we did that tax note, those funds, the tax note funds could reimburse for those costs. If you include it in the budget. It's not included in the budget. When it comes time to do a tax note, you list out renovations and the Tyler cost part of that tax note at that time. It's just kind of to be either way. It's in this budget. If you list it in the budget as an item, then we'll have to, if those expenses occur before the tax note is issued, you get those funds, then you have a resolution saying, we're gonna pay the reimburse the county for those funds. Or you can list it, leave it contingency and not include it, knowing that's gonna be listed on the tax note with the renovations. Because the tax note will require you to list out exactly what you're, what we use the funds for. And software, I believe, based on the financial advisor we talked to, Josie, I did it last week, both those would be considered okay under the tax note. Costs, the renovations and the software. Acceptable, that's better, acceptable. So whether it's a line item, we know those are out there. Not when you incur those costs when you pay them before they come out due, pay them with contingency, and we're gonna do resolutions of actions back. After that.
Not a problem with that. I don't see if there's no problem with that. There's no problem.
And then we had that time, and that was the financial assistance, yes, that's not a problem. Just whether you list it now or.
Okay.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Y'all have any questions on that? Comments? I will say this kind of from a public perspective, this payment to Tyler these are conversion costs, right? These are conversion costs. That's like a one-time investment that you're not going to be doing over and over again. If that was the case, it wouldn't even be a category, like the software, the maintenance or the licensing fee that we pay every year. That's not eligible for a tax note the way I understand it, unless you're in some trouble. But this wouldn't be wholly improper because it's like a capital investment in a new system in a way, is the way to think about it. So it's not totally improper to put it in a tax note. I guess from my perspective, we have that cost out there. I think we might put it in a tax note, but we don't know that. And so I guess my concern is, and Josie, you were saying that you think it's probably more than 845,000. Do you have kind of
Maybe a little less than that.
A little less.
But a couple small deals.
Okay,
Somebody votes.
so that was kind of it before we run through the rest of the year, but whatever's left. Okay. We've got that big number out there. I guess what I'm a little bit scared of is that we, I know we wouldn't do this, but we forget that we've got that out there until we have that tax note in place and we decide to move some of that out to the tax note. It's looming on the horizon. Does that make sense? I don't think I'm saying that.
Where we're at. Look at our treasurer, to make sure we stay on top of that.
Because we've got 3,000 dollars, so we've got off for
Yeah,
sure.
we pay one office. It's not-
Next time.
Let's make it clear, we're not now proposing that we do the tax note. That's not what we're doing today. We're just saying that's a possibility out there. Right. As a way to help finance it. We tried to do it out of pocket, and it's a pretty big hit.
You said you talked about county fund balance, where you said that was all county fund balance. Did you see that too?
Oh, well,
A good county fund balance is like 50% of the year.
yeah, I didn't really get finished on that. Yeah. That's okay. You can say what you want to.
I just wonder what you like on that.
Well, I would have to say I'm still learning.
So,
But with regard to a contingency, a true contingency, it's not unusual for that to be. 3% is not a huge contingency. And that's kind of where we are before we enroll that tax. So, and this isn't, the way I'm thinking about this, the way I understand it, is if we choose to say, well, we're just gonna leave contingency where it is and we'll take care of Tyler out of contingency until we decide to do something different. That is not improper per se. Is that correct?
Repay ourselves.
Yeah, so we could just leave this alone and leave the contingency in, keep it in mind. Got that big Tyler project that we might put on a tax note and we might not. But yeah, well, that's gonna have to be something, some kind of currency mechanism for that. Yeah, so we think that's coming in.
we bought the property outright for $5, which we planning to pay for that. We need to see what kind of fund balance we got, make sure that proper fund balance is there.
And I'm not, fund balance moves so much, and we're not in the tax collection season yet, so it's gonna move a lot. But we're not, fund balance wise right now, we're in okay shape, is that fair to say?
Hey, one question I had. Mr. Reed said something earlier. The same funding from the VFDs,
I'm not aware of a change for the VFDs.
same.
We are gonna encourage you to get all the workers' comp. I think it's like, we need to do it ourselves, or we're going to,
Yeah.
it's not that. If not, that's the,
We can't hear you, we can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
No.
I said, there's currently a deal to reimburse all the long-term fire departments for the workers' comp. I said, I don't know why we don't let them seek that and just do that on their own without us being billed for this. But deal to keep up with each department, we can look at each all the time, staff, so.
So for that, they can get the workers' comp and the state will reimburse them that cost. And we can't get reimbursed for that cost.
Well, we
So
never
they're,
said,
he's shaking his head no.
So we can file on behalf of them for the reimbursement. They have to request it. So we could use our policy for the request for the reimbursement, or we could just ask them when seeking their own coverage and getting the reimbursement and reimburse themselves. So it's whichever way you want to go with it. But the reimbursement is there nonetheless, up to $320 per VFD volunteer
per year.
per year, yes, sir.
It's not big money, it's just,
Yeah.
it's just hard to track it. Hard to track for each department because no one how many people they have from month to month.
How many tell the coverage?
Agreed. All right, so Going back to the contingency, any strong feelings amongst you all about whether we should put the Tyler cost in there or not?
No, I have a strong feeling.
And strong.
We're gonna do a tax note, I'd rather put it on the tax note.
Okay, you'd rather not list it in that contingency, right? Okay. Okay, all right, Okay.
Work either way, but okay.
all right. So still, I guess we'll go back to your no salary increases.
For an elected officials, no, as far as.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry. We talked about what kind of contingency you have, we talked about tax notes, we talked about the audit, we talked about, you know, kind of where we are right now, so they're in here right now, I don't understand that. You said you wanted to kind of wait until we were looking at the bottom line, how do you feel about it?
Well, if you don't give the elected ones, you basically have a lower one cash. Basically,
Okay.
so. I don't hear one of those, but I mean, as far as being fair, I think the elected needs one, but
Okay.
it don't make me any difference. You got one of those.
Okay.
When I became clerk, 18 years ago, the county clerk before me, they didn't raise the elected officials for several years there. And our salary at that time, because I was chief deputy, was $400 difference
Okay.
between my salary as
And
chief
elected
deputy
official.
and hers as elected official.
Okay.
And I can tell you that's not much.
But we're, elected officials, when it's taken, whatever the underneath does, it's their fault,
I understand.
It's not gonna matter to me, because I'm gonna have to dog in the fight this year, but I'm just saying, I think you should always raise elected officials.
Okay.
That's just me,
It's in here.
if it's in there,
Right.
because they have expenses too, and they spend what you make, and just, you've got a lot of secretaries making almost what they do. And if you keep not giving them a raise, you're gonna have secretaries make what they do.
If we had the power of the purse, we could, if that's the case, we could,
Don't give anybody a raise.
well, or that, or say our salary's gonna be 100,000.
Exactly.
I mean,
You could.
that's my,
I understand that.
All right, it's easy to say, you give up your salary, I'll give up mine, but it's the same also for having other elected officials. I don't know.
There's no incentive to be an elected official if the salary is not quite a difference. And that's me. But I'm done. So,
Commissioner Reed, what are your fans on this?
I'd like to see the bottom line. I know it's in there now, but after all these, let's see where we stand.
Okay.
and there was 3 years where nobody got a raise. We went 3
Yeah, those-
years with no raise.
Well, members.
countywide,
Countywide, 3 years. It was tough, but we made it. Nobody quit. We made it, but with insurance and stuff, it's different now. But I'm just saying, things changes. And you have a lot of administrative assistants that are making almost what elected officials are. And there's just no incentive. Unless you're just ready to be an elected official. But you have a lot more responsibility. I mean,
But in the last, we give 5% for the last how many years?
several years, it's been good. Yeah,
It's
it's been
been
really good.
year 19 when we did give it.
It's really been good, yeah. The raises that we appreciate those.
When we first got them, it was really, really tight. Because,
Yeah,
like, there was not hardly any fund balance. Speak of, I recall, it was.
We had fund balance, we just didn't want to drink it. We always had fund balance, we just didn't want to take anything from it.
Well, I don't know what it was 20 years ago, but it wasn't percentages, the biggest percentage.
I know some years we did 1%, 3%.
$18,000.
Well,
Okay, that.
it's hard, starting to all run together.
And Indigent Health isn't spending $850,000 a year, it hasn't for a long time either, so that money is absorbed into the general fund somehow.
All right,
So it'll fund balance again.
okay. So, got some indication here, of what to work with. That's what we talked about. There's no decision made here. Everybody's heard, understand where your position is, and that's helpful. I'll open up the floor. If anybody wants to make a comment from the floor, you're welcome to come share. County official, non-county official, yes, sir.
Nothing great, Justin. I want to talk to y'all about my parking lot. We finally got a pencil put to that.
Okay,
I think with inmate labor, it's gonna be about $400 to get it done. And the ceiling and the overlay and the striping is gonna run about $30,000. That's what us doing. Y'all's inmates.
Fault ceiling it?
We gotta do something, guys.
I hadn't even gonna look at it
400 hours?
because man, it up.
No, I get it. I mean, so how many inmates there?
Like every one of them get it done.
Okay, get it.
get done today.
So how long, I guess what I'm asking is how long are we gonna be without?
Shoot, I don't know. I mean, we can leave a crew for emergencies. Let y'all pass it around or something.
What are you talking about, Sheriff?
Or we can contract it done for $100,000. I don't care. I'm at about
So-
$75,000.
So the deputies that we're paying a salary for, they gonna be working with you?
Yes, supervising inmates.
You don't have any idea how long?
About 400 hours, rough estimate. And my jail administrator used to do it for a living, so it's kind of got a pretty good idea. Give me the main.
Get 10 guys working at it.
40 hours, get 10 guys, it's 40 hours. 8 hours a week.
But you know how it goes.
No. So what are they gonna do exactly?
Seal all the cracks, blow the sand out, seal the cracks. And put that overlay on, overlay, whatever you call it, overlay. And then, stripe it.
What, just visitor parking or inside? Everything?
I had talked to the city about their side. If they want to pay the inmates to do it, I'm ready.
You know, give us a leave our payroll for a month.
And then the only other thing I have is I want to move some funds around. It's not going to cost the county anything. But I've got 27 full uniformed deputies that wear uniform 24/7. I wanted to switch uniforms, upgrade the uniforms. So whatever deputy I have gets $600 a month clothing allowance. Those 27 deputies will be removed from their salary and put in a line item for a budget where I can purchase the uniforms, probably from here on out. The problem that we're having is there's so much stuff available on the internet now that there's nothing uniform about our uniforms. So I want to get some uniformity back in the department, upgrade the vest carriers. It's going to cost me about $33,000 to do that. In the clothing allowance, and I'm going to transfer to $16,200. The other $17,000 in upgrade, I'll pay for myself out of some discrepancy funds that I have, non-taxpayer money. So I don't know that that's going to be an action item, but I'm just requesting to have that $600 removed from the salaries and put in a line item for me to purchase the uniforms.
And it's a year, not a month.
Just buy it here. I thought we got $50 a month.
Yeah, it's $50 a month.
But that's
It's
just
$600 a year.
Okay. I don't mind. I mean, I don't need better.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be an action
There
item.
needs to be some uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that, but I believe- I
Yeah,
didn't-
that's,
Well,
So just tell.
Yeah, I don't sound hear anything.
no, the
Other than
admin,
that, we need to add the money to the budget for the,
Uniform.
for the parking lot, maintenance on that.
I'm
The other,
sorry,
what I heard is you can shift the money around. Just, all right.
non-taxpayer funds I can utilize,
Okay.
that I'm willing to utilize.
So where's the biggest expense on that parking lot, what, fog seal?
Yes, sir. It's about 25,000 and the striping's about 5,000.
Yeah, okay. 25,000 for the fog seal, who you talk to?
I think we got the figures, that's probably about 55 gallon barrels. Quite a bit of savings there.
Might be able to make sure.
Yeah, we,
Might be easier to get it ready than somebody shoot it.
yeah, they got those bills, they just use up and drop it, you know. Yeah,
Where's the price coming up?
well,
Is that getting more expensive?
I don't think so, I mean,
No, I'm buying that stuff by the barrel, you're supposed to buy it in bulk.
Are you talking about like a truck?
yeah, I can't remember who did, I can't remember.
Grinders on some me and past, bulks around, we said, so we only had one guy bid this year for any of that, but
Who was it that auctioned was for $1 a gallon?
remember?
We put down millions and something.
Yeah.
We budgeted some money with this.
Yeah, it's gonna get to the point where we're going to dig it up and start over.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was precinct 3. In the construction of Commerce Court.
Oh.
Molly?
He had some that was still out, or he needed to put something else in, so he gave us a good price on that.
Yeah, he gave you the new check.
Just want to plant the bug. And if y'all get the tax note, just get 5 million from me for a jail out on it. Let these other counties,
He keeps with
We're
her
still
now,
waiting for
he
your-
said
Is that gonna be a rental?
let these other counties pay for it. I'm telling you. Now's the time to do it. Before we have to.
They look bar apartment.
You got a room? Which way would you expand?
Kind of to the southeast.
Did they build it to expand? didn't they?
Yes.
They built it to expand.
Don't farm seal that part. Yeah.
It's dirt right now. Over there.
All right. Any other comments? Anybody?
I respectfully ask that you consider doing for all the clerks what you're considering doing for the jail clerks. Because I think they all work just as hard,
Okay.
okay?
You don't agree, you don't clerks then.
Actually, the discussion was that probably wasn't gonna happen.
Okay, well, I just, for this year, until we can get all the salaries and the descriptions and all that, I just think it would be problematic to our office.
I have to agree with you on that.
But I think we should,
We don't put all the weight on David's shoulders.
with the salary committee, I think we should all look into doing the job descriptions and trying to get them all fairly allocated.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No pressure, David.
No pressure.
Anything else?
Copy and paste. She said copy and paste.
All right.
Job descriptions. I turned ours in.
So what I'm gonna try to do, I'll work up my summary of what I think, what direction we're gonna go. Give that to y'all so you can plug it in. And then we'll circle back on the, official salaries, the elected official salaries. Give you a little bit more information, get some indication on that. This could potentially, it's not a big deal, but this could potentially hold up. We're not actually approving the budget on the 2nd. It's a possibility. We can't get that resolved. There's plenty of time for us to finish it out, so that we can do that. That's one of the good things about where we are on this. We have time to regroup it.
Well,
That makes sense.
we have Wednesday. Well, how many times you gotta have it out?
Well, that's, so, you're talking about, you gotta put it in the bulletin, so I've worked on that on the calendar.
I'm talking about if we want to have one more. If we needed to have another budget hearing in action now.
Okay,
But you gotta have any date notice on that. You're Still,
well, we're right now, you need to have another
if you
kind
thought,
of a workshop
you
prior
thought
to
we
the
had, you thought we needed to have another workshop, we just flip one of those in.
between the second,
Without
down the
changing,
second.
without changing your plans. If we need.
All right, we'll take a look. See if we can do that. One way or another, we have enough runway, the budget finish prior to the end of the year. Notice where you shared with me that Coryell County had yet filed their budget. People are not happy about that, so we got ours filed.
So it may be the afternoon of August 31st, maybe, as long as we notice it by tomorrow, we can have another budget workshop.
That's when Tyler's coming for their solution validation on Monday afternoon from 1 to 4.
I'm not,
They're staying for Tyler's solution validation for the rest of that week, supposedly, to do, teach everybody how to do it. But,
Okay,
I'll get them back in there.
all right.
well, I think I heard later that he wasn't gonna squabble his way on elected official salary, is that what you kind of said? Or what did you say? Elected official salaries, I said, I wasn't proud of it, but I preferred not to take it out.
He thinks you ought to leave it in there, is what he said.
I was thinking, I don't wanna wait,
I'm just
I don't
telling you
wanna
what
wait
could
till the
happen,
audit.
it didn't make,
I wanna make sure, I wanna make sure it fits in here, but not till likely a year or two we have an audit. We're all at.
I mean, I think there'll be a time at 5%, it ain't gonna happen, it's gonna be,
I wouldn't anticipate that next year.
yeah.
I know we're getting way ahead of
It's,
ourselves,
you eventually gonna, it's not gonna work 5% every year.
but,
Well, that exceeds what we agreed every year.
yeah, well, we talked about, when we talked about that dollar amount, that percentage amount, it's because of the extra cost taken on by the employees for the health insurance. Basically, is make up that a little bit. And altogether, it was about a 3.5% increase in employee compensation. Big picture, which is actually probably coming down a little bit as people choose for lesser coverage for their families. I don't know that that's out there, but I hope that will come down. So anyway, that is kind of the justification for this year. It is higher than cost of living. Cost of living is at 3.5 as it was at the end of July. The US government, they would. That's true. That's very true. All right, we'll take a look at maybe scheduling a meeting between now and then, another workshop if we need to. Worst case scenario, we come to the budget hearing. We don't think we have enough, but we can get as it stands, we can take, we can propose a salary, we can get in there in the budget hearing and we can just take a vote and see if it passes or not. I prefer to be at a place where we're, to the extent we can, that we're all together, we're in agreement. I think that's better for the county. I think it's better for all of us. But the other option is we might hit that hearing and say, we're not ready to make a final decision. We can talk about it right then. We can actually take a vote on what we want to do.
Look, in the past, Josie and the auditor here, just give us this raise deal and how much it would change, like a 2% or 3%, 4%, 5%. We do that forever.
Okay. That bottom line impact of the change.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the percentage raise.
But that's across the board for everything.
How soon will we, if you,
Well,
I'm sorry.
there for a while, and it worked. I thought it would. The lower end would get a total dollar figure.
Okay.
And then, what did you break at? Go on to your room?
Didn't we give them $2,000 one year?
Yeah.
The one at the top, $2,000, everybody else
It's
got
5% or some dollar figure, whichever was the most.
Whichever was the most.
I mean, dollar figure.
And that was for the employees, not the elected officials.
It's a lot fairer for the lower end than it did.
So that's a pretty big sea change from what we have in there right now. And I'm not saying that's not a good idea, but I am saying I think it's too late. It's not too late. We can change it if you want to. I would hesitate to go back in and try to recalculate it all that way for the entire county.
That was partly done to get everybody under 30,000 up to at least 40. And right now, we've only got, I think, 2 or 3 employees that are under the 30, under the 40. They're right at 30.
Okay.
So,
Well, I suggest that you go ahead and plug in what you think's changed today.
Okay.
Get a figure with and without. Figure for us with and without the elected official raise, how much money it actually is, and what the bottom line is.
Okay.
Do that and get that between now and then, if we think it's an issue, we can move it.
Okay.
Nobody squabbles if we see it.
Okay.
That's just my thought.
say that again.
After you kind of revamps this a little bit,
Let you plug in the numbers in, we get, maybe you get a. What we do with that initial raise.
So this is just gonna raise
No.
contingency.
We just kept it over here for the
It's
side.
just gonna make our contingency figure go up.
Well, he's got a few of those changes maybe on there too, but yeah.
Well, nothing's going up.
So,
Everything's being reduced.
so you just want the elected officials to know, right? The elected officials with 5% raise and see what that number is?
Well, I'm saying, if we're down, we're worried about breaking the budget. I don't know how much difference that makes, but I don't know how much more stuff after that he might wanna add except away from this. But he needs to go, put the two numbers in, right?
Yes. I think that's
You
two
got-
things.
You got to establish balance right now, correct? With that contingency number,
Not a contingency. not-
so anything we do is gonna raise or change the contingency.
Well, if we reduce the stuff that you said to reduce, it's gonna bring that contingency up.
And if we add the other things we talked about, it's gonna bring it back down,
Like
But it's
the
not gonna
extra
break it.
person.
like the extra child.
Right.
Yes.
Are there any unforeseen costs that you see that, like, oh, by the way,
I mean, other than the,
Tyler,
the
parking lot?
sheriff's parking lot and the vehicle, the two vehicles that y'all discussed, and then this new person that Joel wants,
And so that's, we need to put those in there too.
but it's not gonna eat up that 800, 900,000 that's not in there.
Okay. I understand.
Clear as mud?
Yep. Yep. Sort of. All right. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it. Be adjourned.